Shabbat Shalom. How's everyone today? It's nice to see your faces here. Let's begin with just a cleansing breath. I know that there's a lot happening in the world right now. I don't know about you. I'm talking. I haven't even started the service yet. Here's what I know, is that every time I this week have looked at the news or looked at my to-do list or looked at Facebook because I'm basic, I feel like I just need to take a deep breath. It is a hard world that we're living in. It always is, but it always feels like it's harder than usual. And it's been rough this week. So let's find this space to clear our minds, to clear our breath, to clear our heads, because we have a big week coming up. A lot of hard soul work to do. God, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you. God, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you. Matovu, page 192. Matovu, ohalecha Yaakov, mishkenotecha, Yisrael. Matovu, ohalecha Yaakov, mishkenotecha, Yisrael. God, prepare me last time. God, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true. And with thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you. We continue on page 198, where we'll find it's been a morning already. Page 198, where we'll find Nasim B'chol Yom, our blessings for every day. No matter how hard it gets, no matter how tough the news is, we look around and we see that we do still have blessings. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan l'sech vivina, lehavchin bein yom uvein laila, who has given the mind the ability to distinguish day from night. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, pokeach ivrim, who opens the eyes of the blind. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, matir asurim, who frees the captive. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, zokev kefufim, who lifts up the fallen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, rokah haaretz al hamayim, who stretches the earth over the waters. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamechin mitzadei gaver, who strengthens our steps. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, malbish arumim, who clothes the naked. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hanoten liya'ef life koach, who gives strength to the weary. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hama'avir sheina me'enai, u'numa me'af apai, who removes sleep from the eyes and slumber from the eyelids. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asani b'tselem Elohim, who has made me in the image of God. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asani bat chorin, who has made me free. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asani Yisrael, who has made me a Jew. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, ozer Yisrael bigvura, who girds Israel with strength. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, oter Yisrael b'tifara, who crowns Israel with splendor. Let's turn to page 218, where we'll find Psalm 150, our chance to make a little bit of noise, to offer some praise in whatever way feels right to you this morning. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, El Bekocho. Hallelujah, Birkia Uzah. Hallelujah, Bigvurotah. Hallelujah, Kerov Kudo. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Hallelujah, beteka shofar. Hallelujah, benebo vechino. Hallelujah, betofu machor. Hallelujah, beminim ve'ugam. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, betzil tzlei shama. Hallelujah, betzil tzlei trua. Kol hanshama telaleya. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Let's turn to page 224 for the Chatzi Kaddish, separating the morning part of the service from the Shema and its blessings. Yitkadal ve'yitkadash shemei Rabba, Amen. Be'alma divrach irutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uvyomechon, u'chayei dechol beit Yisrael. Bagala, bagala, uvizman kariv, ve'imeru, Amen. Yehi shmei Rabba mevorach, le'alam ulal me'almaya, yitbarach, yitbarach, v'yishtabach, v'yitpa'ar, v'yitramam, v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar, v'yit'aleh, v'yithalal, shemei dekudesha barichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma ve'imeru. Amen. Let's stand for the Baruch. Let's turn to the next page for Yotzer Or. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Yotzer Or uvorei choshech oseh shalom uvorei et hakol Hameir la'aretz v'ladarim aleha barachamim uvtuvo mechadesh b'chol yom tamid ma'aseh v'reishit ma rabu ma'asecha Adonai kulam b'chochma asita mal'ah ha'aretz kinyanecha titbarach Adonai Eloheinu al shevach ma'aseh yadecha ve'al me'orei or she'asita yifa'arucha sela or chadash al tzion ta'ir v'nizkeh chulanu meheira le'oro Baruch atah Adonai Yotzer HaMe'orot. Let's turn to the next page. Read in the English. How deeply you have loved us, Adonai, our God, gracing us with surpassing compassion. On account of our forebears, whose trust led you to teach them the laws of life. Be gracious to us, teaching us as well. O merciful one, have mercy on us by making us able to understand and discern, to heed, learn, and teach, and lovingly to observe, perform, and fulfill all that is in your Torah. Enlighten our eyes with your Torah, focus our minds on your mitzvot, unite our hearts in love and reverence for your name. Then we will never feel shame, never deserve rebuke, and never stumble. Having trusted in your great and awesome holiness, we shall celebrate your salvation with joy. Gather us in peace from the four corners of the earth and lead us upright to our land. For you, O God, work wonders. You chose us. Truly, you drew us near to your great name, that we might acknowledge you, declaring you one in love. Praise be you, Adonai, who chooses your people Israel in love. Baruch atah Adonai habocher be'amo Yisrael be'ahava. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם emet. The good in us will win over all the wickedness, over all the wrongs we have done. We will look back at the pages of written history and be amazed. And then we will laugh and sing, and the good that is in us, the children in their cradles, will have won. Page 123 or 241. Our hearts beat with certainty that there is a day and an hour and a mountain called Zion, and that all of the sufferings will gather there and become song, ringing out into every corner of the earth from end to end. And the nations will hear it, and like the caravans in the desert, will all go to that morning throng. Stand and turn to page 242 or 124 for the Amidah. We ask God to open up our lips. We ask one another for the support that we need as we acknowledge what's really going on inside us and within us, and allow ourselves to go deep if that's what we need to do this morning. Adonai tzefatai tiftachu fi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai ata Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanorah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Vekonei Hakol, Vezocher Chastei Avot ve'imahot, Umevi Geula livnei v'neihem, Leman Shemo be'ahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshia u'Magen, Baruch Ata Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah, Ata Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechaye hakol Ata Rav lehoshia, Morid hatal, Mechalkel chayim bechesed, Mechaye hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim verofech cholim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato, Lishenei afar, Michamocha ba'al gevurot, Umido melach, Melech memit umechaye, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman ata l'hachayot hakol, Baruch ata Adonai, Mechaye hakol. Mekadesh et shimcha ba'olam, Keshem shemakdishim oto b'shmei marom, Kach katuv al yad neviecha, V'kara ze el ze ve'amar, Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tzevaot, Melo kol haaretz, Kevodo, Adir, Adirenu Adonai, Adonenu ma'adir, Shimcha b'chol haaretz, Baruch kevod Adonai, Mimkomo. Echad hu Eloheinu, hu Avinu, hu Malkeinu, hu Moshienu vehu Yashmienu, berachamav le'einei kol chai. Ani Adonai Elohechem, Yimloch Adonai le'olam, Elohayich Tzion, Ledor vador, Hallelujah. Ledor vador nagid godlecha, U'netzach netzachim kedushatcha nakdish, V'shivchacha Eloheinu mimhinu lo yamush, Le'olam va'ed. Baruch ata Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. Let's be seated. A thought has blown the marketplace away. There is a song on the wind and joy in the trees. Shabbat arrives in the world, scattering a song in the silence of night, and eternity utters a day. Top of the page, 253 or 135. We offer thanks, O God, for this Shabbat, which unites us in faith and hope, for Shabbat holiness, which inspires sacred living, for Shabbat memories glowing even in darkness, for Shabbat peace, born of friendship and love. We offer thanks and blessing, O God. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat. Let's take this time for our own private prayers and personal reflections, and we'll come back together with a prayer for peace. turn in our books to the Torah service, which you can find beginning on page 364. What's that? 362, is that, do I do that every time because it's wrong in my outline? 362. While we have this break, Stephanie, I feel like it's hitting my face. Is it picking up face sounds? No, we're good? All right, good. I'm glad you're not hearing the sound of my face against the microphone. Page 362 or 244. Let's stand as we take the Torah from the Ark. Ein kamocha va'Elohim Adonai, ve'ein kema'asecha, malchutecha malchut kol olamim, u'memshaltecha bechol dor v'dor. Adonai melech, Adonai malach, Adonai imod le'olam va'ed. Adonai os le'amo yitein. Once the doors are closed, you can sit. I'm almost there. I will say it's easier to do the whole thing by myself than when I was pregnant. That was tough because I couldn't catch my breath. But at least now I can move around without getting out of breath. Yes, you can sit down now. You can sit down. Now I'm just rambling because I'm filling time while I get everything set up. Because, it's what we do. It's how we roll. Roll, get it? I've been making a lot of jokes that have fallen flat today. I just want to acknowledge that it's been a tough crowd. Am I right, Harvey? You saw that in tourist study. No one was picking up what I was putting down. It's okay. It's okay. I'm not going to take it personally. It's a heavy time of year. All right, Harvey, I got your Aliyah card. So before we can take that off now. Before we turn to the Torah reading itself, I want to tell you that we are in Parshat Nitzavim, which is almost the end of the whole Torah. You can see the way that it's rolled. We've got a thick side over here and a skinny side over here, which means that we are almost all the way at the end. We are reading the passage that is a part of Moses' final address to the people at the foot of Mount Nebo, where he is telling them what he expects from them. He is telling them what he is hoping he's telling them what God is hoping to see from them as they go forward into the promised land. And this is poignant, especially because Moses is not going into the promised land. Moses is not going to have someone put a Post-it on my page, and I've been flipping, and I didn't even know. The Post-it was already there. Page 1372 or 1373, if you're following along in the Plout. The part that we're going to read today is when Moses addresses not just the people who are there in the room, not in the room, but the people at the foot of the mountain. But Moses says to them, and you'll hear me say it in a moment, that this is not just for you, not just for those of you who are here with us today, but all of those who are also not here today. And so that leaves it up to us to interpret. Who are the people who are not there? Who are the people who are not able to hear the message, but for whom the message still counts? And I want to tell you about something that we did at Camp Stein this summer. My Torah study friends have already heard this, but there is a garden when you first drive into Camp Stein. There's a big heart star, and that's the symbol of Camp Stein. And in the middle, we planted flowers, and around the edges, we painted rocks. But the way that we planted flowers was we took seed paper, and we had the campers write a message that was going to be planted in the seed. And that message was a message for the campers yet to come. It was a message saying, I'm here, and this has been a part of me, but this is what I leave here. This is what I hope will grow here. This is what I hope will blossom here. This message that is not just for the people here today, but for the people yet to come. And then around the sides, they painted rocks, and on the rocks, they put the message of what they had taken from the generations that came before them. So we saw messages like peace or friendship or community, or, some were more abstract. Some of them were images of what this place had come to mean to them. But what I want us to take away from this Torah portion is that everything we do, everything that happens with us, within us, that is a part of us, is something that is not just for the present, but it's also something for the future. We are always planting seeds for the future. And we are also always sharing the lessons that we've learned from those who have been a part of our past. And so each one of us is really a continuum. Each one of us is carrying from the past and giving to the future in everything that we do. And so as we get ready for Rosh Hashanah, as we get ready for the High Holy Days, the promises that we make to God, the promises that we make to one another, the promises that we make to ourselves, these are not just promises for right now, but these are part of a covenant that extends from before we were here and will extend until after we come. So as we think of what it is we're hoping to achieve in 5782 in the next year that is going to be here before we know it, we think not only of right now, but of all of it, of time that has passed and time that is yet to come, because that's what the Torah reminds us, that it's not just about right now, but it is for always. So with that, I would like to invite my friend Harvey to join me on the bima. Harvey, will you remind me of your Hebrew name? Ya'amod. Shmuel Tzvi ben Mordechai, La'aliyah, La Torah. Do you need this? Oh, he's got it right there. Very well prepared. All right, Harvey, let me show you where we are. Way at the end. I just got to figure out which column we're on. Ooh. I swear I found it this morning. Here's where I didn't put the Post-it. Here we go. See, when you get to the end of the Torah, it gets a little finicky and it wants to roll up tighter. All right, so this is the beginning of our Torah portion, and we are reading today from the word lema'an, which we can find. You're being so patient while I find it. Here we go, right here. Baruch Adonai havarach leolam va'ed. Amen. Lema'an hekim otcha hayom, and God has established with you today, lo la'am v'hu yehiye lecha, that you will be God's people, and hu yehiye lecha le'elohim, and God will be your God. Ka'asher diber lecha, as God said to you, v'ka'asher nishba la'avotecha, and as God vowed to your fathers, la'avraham ul Yitzchak ul Yaakov, to Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, v'lo etchem levadchem, Anochi karet et habrit hazot, and not with you alone do I cut this covenant or make this promise. Ve'et ha'ela, and everything that is in it. Hazot ki, hazot went with the sentence before that. Ki et asher yishanopo, but everyone who is here today, imanu, among you, omed, and here standing, hayom, today, lifnei Adonai Eloheinu, before Adonai your God. Ve'et asher einenu po, imanu, and also those who are not with you, hayom, today, on this day. Go ahead. Amen. Yasher Koach, thank you, Harvey. And is this your first Aliyah since being back in person? Well, it's a Shehechianu moment. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Holy One of blessing, your presence fills creation. You have sanctified us and sustained us and enabled us to be here today, on this day. And may there be many more soon to come where you are able to be here with us in person. Amen. All right. Oh, Harvey, it's so good to have you back. Now I know when to stand. And what page we're on. I don't know how I did it before. That was a mess. With words of Torah, with this message of generational wisdom, we turn to thoughts of healing. If there's someone you are thinking of today who is in need of healing, whether it's healing of the body, healing of the spirit, healing of the soul, I invite you to share those names at this time. We also think of all those whose names were included in the chat on YouTube or Facebook, and we also think of all those in our community who are in need of healing. Misha Berach Avotenu ve'imotenu Avraham Yitzchak ve'Yaakov Sarah Rivka Rachel ve'Leah Hu Yevarech et hacholim ha'ele HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yimalei Rachamim Aleihem Lahachlim Mamul Rapotam Ul'Hachazikam Ve'yishlach lehem mehera refuah shlema min hashamayim Refuat ha'nefesh Refuat ha'guf Hashta b'agalau v'zman kariv v'nomar Amen. May the one who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebekah, Rachel, and Leah, bless and heal those who are ill. May the Blessed Holy One be filled with compassion, for their health to be restored and their strength to be revived. May God swiftly send them a complete renewal of body and spirit, and let us say Amen. All right, let's turn to the bottom of 370 or 252 as we return. We're not going to return the Torah to the ark quite yet, but we will dress it. I'm not going to lift it because, as you see, it's really uneven, and that seems like a bad idea. But Harvey, it was the actual scroll I was reading from, correct? You'll stand as, witness. Okay, all right, let's stand as we dress the Torah. Vezo tatorah asher sam Moshe lifnei bnei Yisrael al pi Adonai beyad Moshe. To turn to our Haftarah this morning. Haftarah is the supplemental reading. This is in times when we were not permitted to read words of Torah out loud, we would sneakily read the Haftarah that would share a similar meaning, a similar purpose, a similar lesson. We can find our blessings for Haftarah on page 372 or 254. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar b'nvi'im tovim v'ratza v'divreihem hane'emarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai habocher b'Torah uv'Moshe avdo uv'Yisrael amo uvinvi'ei ha'emet v'tzedek. Did I tell you page 1382 yet in the Plout? We're reading from Isaiah chapter 61. I greatly rejoice in the eternal. My whole being exults in my God, who has clothed me in triumph and robed me in victory. As a bridegroom whose head is adorned, as a bride bedecks herself in her finery. For as the earth brings forth its blossoms, as gardens spring into flower, so the eternal God will make a glorious victory spring up before all the nations. For Zion's sake I will not be silent, for Jerusalem's sake I will not be still, till her victory shines forth like a flame and her triumph like a blazing torch. Nations shall see your deliverance, every ruler shall see your glory, and you shall be called by a new name, a name conferred by the Eternal. You shall be a crown of beauty in the hand of the Eternal, a royal diadem in the palm of your God. No more shall you be called forsaken, no more shall your land be called abandoned, for your name shall be, my delight is in her, and your land shall be called married, because God delights in you, and your land shall be married. As a young man marries a young woman, so will your Creator marry you. And as a bridegroom rejoices in his bride, so your God will rejoice in you. Upon your walls, O Jerusalem, I have placed sentries. They shall not be silent day or night. They shall announce the eternal and never rest. But neither does God rest until Jerusalem is restored, until God makes Jerusalem the praise of all the earth. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam tzur kol haolamim tzadik bechol hadorot ha'el hane'eman ha'omer ve'oseh hamraber umkayim shekol devarav emet v'tzedek al haTorah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al ha'nevi'im ve'al yom ha'shabbat hazeh shenatata lanu Adonai Eloheinu likdusha ve'limnucha lechavod ultifaret Al hakol Adonai Eloheinu, anachnu modim lach, umevarachim otach, yibarach shimcha befi kol chai, tamid leolam va'ed, baruch ata Adonai, mekadesh ha-shabbat. Amen. Let's stand as now we will return the Torah to the ark. Yehallelu et Shem Adonai, ki niskav shemo levado. Hodo al eretz v'shamayim, vayarem keren le'amo, tehillah lechol chasidav, livnei Yisrael am kerovo. Hallelujah, Let's turn in our books to Aleinu, which you can find on page 586 or 282. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'teit gedulah liotzer breshit, shelo asanu kigoyei haratzot, velo samanu kimishpechot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, vegor aleinu kechol hamonam, v'anachnu korim umishtachavim umodim, lifnei melech malchei hamlachim, hakadosh baruch hu, v'ne'emar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz, bayom hahu yihyeh Adonai echad, u'shemo echad. You may be seated, though we're going to stand again in just a second, so don't get too comfortable. Or don't sit, or just stay. Just stay right where you are. We are going to turn now in our thoughts, in our memories, in our prayers, and our stories to words of Kaddish. It is at this time that we will remember those whose yahrzeits fall at this time, those who have died in recent days, those who are in mourning for the first year after the death of a direct loved one. And find Mourner's Kaddish on page 598 or 294. Let's stand back up. If there is someone you are remembering this morning, I know that we are remembering Dr. Matthew B. Hardy, who we always think of when Rosh Hashanah is coming, and we know that the new year is beginning, and it's a new year without him. And I know many of you here today are holding him close in your heart and in your stories. Is there anyone else that we're remembering here today, this morning? Any other names you'd like to share out loud? If there's someone else you're remembering and you would like to share their name in the chat on YouTube or Facebook, you may do so at this time as we say words of Kaddish together. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, be'alma divrach cherutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayachon u'v'yomechon u'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, Bagalau v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi shemei rabba mevarach le'olam u'lamei almaya. Yiparach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shemei de Kedoshah b'rechu. Le'ila min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbachata v'nechemata. Damiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shalama rabba min shemaya. V'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the source of peace send peace to all those who are in mourning and comfort to all who are bereaved as we say together, amen. You may be seated. As far as announcements go, I think we all know that Monday's Labor Day. I hope everyone has plans for coming to services Monday night. That's what I hope you have plans for, either in person at Pilgrim Rest or if not in person, then virtually. I hope you found a way to make a sacred space in your home for your High Holy Day celebration. Then 10 o'clock or 10:30, the next 10. I'll be there by 10. I hope to see you there for Rosh Hashanah morning services, then back here at 2 p.m. for our family service, and 4 p.m. online for Tat Yantif, 5:15 p.m. at Roadrunner Park for Tashlich. So they will all be wonderful and fun. Hope you'll join us for the beginning of a sweet new year, followed by our Shabbat Shuvah on the following Saturday, which a good question was raised today. Will it be a standard service? It will not be a standard service. It will be a time for each of you individually to take some time before the Holy Ark, either in here or in the chapel. You can sign up for your preferred time to come and spend some meditative time and space in that Shabbat between the High Holy, between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, and then to be continued on September 15th with Kol Nidre. And maybe some other stuff in there too. So check your email for everything that's coming up. Let's begin the year with some sweetness. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen l'chaim. Oh, it's a challah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. B'te'avon, I'm not going to eat any right this second because I don't want to touch it in case somebody else wants to take it. I have a lot of challah at home right now, so I offer this to any of you who would like to have a little bit of challah to get your day off to a very tasty start. I bet you had breakfast, didn't you? It's not the beginning. Oh, I'm in the wrong key. Let's end with some peace. Oh, say shalom. B'mromav. Oh, say shalom. B'mromav. Hu ya'aseh, hu ya'aseh, hu ya'aseh. happy almost New Year.